Yes, the holiday season. A time for Americans to be grateful for living in a country with the greatest leadership in the world. Getting into a fist fight with your local Starbucks barista for telling your 70-year-old have an ass Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas in a very affordable housing market. Ha ha! And most of all, it's the time for giving and the time for family. And giving again because of planned obsolescence. It's capitalism time, motherfucker! Oh, look, a $250 fitness tracking watch meant for running in the most brutal conditions and tolerating any weather patterns. Sure would be too bad if they made it out of the same glass as a goddamn $20 track phone and they accidentally bumped it into a wall gently. Oh boy, Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, surely the best Ultra Magnus figure in the history of ever. Oh boy, Siege Optimus Prime, the Optimus from 2018 that became the best Optimus Prime in the history of ever. Yeah, it isn't exactly any secret why Transformers has so many TV shows, movies, and comics out of the blue from so many different continuities and art styles. It's to sell toys and merchandise. Let's be real here. And Transformers has always had this really interesting dichotomy of what drives both of their media and toy decisions in order to keep things running smoothly. How do they balance art with the business so goddamn well? Well, I guess you could say it started with one of the most fucked up business decisions of all time, killing Optimus Prime in the 1986 movie in order to release an entirely new toy line. It always seemed like such a scrupulous and batshit crazy move for Hasbro to do this, because even without the hindsight of social media or necessarily public pressure at their disposal, did they really think it was a good idea to kill the most iconic pop culture icon of that entire generation? Could they really not foresee the consequences of killing off Optimus fucking Prime? Especially when this is the bullshit toy they are trying to replace him with. Well, yeah, kind of, honestly. This was the first time they had ever done Transformers, and without having the hindsight of social media, they didn't have a way of getting public feedback, which suppressed public input on whether or not this generation of children would be able to accept these changes or not. So if it was just Optimus Prime, they might have had some benefit of the doubt from that generation, instead of killing off the entire fucking cast in the first 20 minutes of the movie. And you see, the reason Hasbro did this was because they had a mild crisis on their hands. Transformers were originally part of a toy line called Diaclone and Microchange, transforming robot toy lines that were exclusive to Japan before Transformers existed. Hasbro did not have any designers or engineers of their own, and they ran out of fucking molds to use. So in what was probably a rushed out Manic Panic Power Hour, Hasbro lit up their typewriters on fucking fire and shot out one of the greatest cinematic dumpster fires that was genuinely enjoyable of all time. The Transformers the movie got released in the summer of 1986 and turned out to be a box office dumpster fuck for various reasons, but the pinnacle reason was the death of Optimus Prime, and good fucking lord, the entire season 1 cast in the first 20 goddamn minutes of a 90-minute movie? This decision fucked up so many little kids that they had to permanently revive Optimus from the dead just to not kill their fucking brand. And by the time they did so, the damage was already done because Season 3 Rodimus Prime was such an insufferable jackass. On top of that, the time they revived him felt kinda cheap and half-hearted. Like a soulless homunculus being brought back alive from literal nothing and replaced with this slightly cheaper and inferior product. But somehow, just somehow, Optimus was still a timeless icon in every single continuity he came out of and absolutely killed it, not only for the comics and TV shows, but every new toy version of him that got released. From the not fat but light pasta type that combined with a bunch of random construction vehicles for fuck if I know what reason, the golden Shrek ears gigantic Chad type to the same thing, but I guess better for some reason, maybe I guess. Classics gave us a modern, fantastic update that was built like a friggin' brick. Combiner Wars was a shitty Red Menasor. Rid 15 was cool in theory, but more hollow than my promise to finish my Jinra review. Siege came out and knocked my balls off. Earthrise was great until he fucking disintegrated twice, and I just never bought another one because fuck that price tag. Reactivate made me piss myself. Animated Optimus, Legacy Animated Optimus, Shrek the Third, Golden Ears, Boogaloo Optimus made me. But then suddenly, I am soaking wet right now.
You got the touch! You got the power!
Yeah, we all saw this shit coming, didn't we? Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime is everything that fans have been clamoring for the entire duration of Chug. This shit's about as spectacular as it gets, getting the full-on Roger Rabbit effect and not fucking around with this magnificent presence emulating one of, to the day, the best final showdowns of any animated content in existence, with a timeless freedom fuck loving truck getting ready to kick Megatron's shit in. This red, white, and blue giant truck van is about as fucking spectacular as it gets. And as a way of celebrating 40 plus years of Transformers even being a thing, this shit rocked my face in, with a gorgeous paint scheme with colors that contrast and accentuate each other's presence so fucking hard that they could kill you, rubberized tires, and an absolute vibe that would attract even the most cynical asshat G1ers on the planet with its irresistible sex appeal. Yes, sir, this truck is fuckable, with a damn near flawless silhouette and drop-dead gorgeous paint scheme that's unfortunately met with all the same durability issues of any Studio Series 86 figure that I've ever bought. The Autobot logo was this faded right out of the box, and the silver paint on the truck is already chipping away with some red just above the truck grille, but when I tell you that this does absolutely nothing to change my mind about the glory of this $130 Voyager-esque figure, I actually mean it. I spent $130 on this thing, and I regret nothing! This is the most insanely seamless truck mode I've ever seen in Transformers as a whole, with a beautiful simplicity mixed in with just the right amount of sculpted detail. Like, it isn't so toony that it's boring, but also matches the cartoon vibe in the best ways possible, with a big-ass, honkin'-ass trailer that makes Earthrise Optimus kinda feel like a sad piece of shit. And the more I play with this thing, the more I realize there's probably some truth to that statement. And yeah, we gotta take a second to talk about this trailer. Listen, every Optimus Prime trailer I have ever owned felt like a complete waste of shelf space up to this point, and this trailer's big enough to fit the fucking Earthrise trailer inside of it. But this trailer actually has the feel of a playset where you can actually use your imagination a little bit without feeling like you're stretching it, and actually have it become an enjoyable experience to play with. The aircraft gun thingy is kind of restricted in its overall movement because it operates on hinges instead of ball joints, and the claw can be a bitch and a half to open correctly. But this time he finally included Roller with a nice silvery finish that can actually transport headmasters.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
This thing even has a storage compartment for vehicle-compatible blast effects for when Optimus Prime went extreme patriotism mode on those Decepticons. It can store his axe, his ion blaster, and 2 other blast effects included, and Roller, for the first time in fucking history, can actually be securely tabbed into the trailer so a bloodthirsty toddler can actually shake it without destroying him. But the real star of the show is Optimus Prime's transformation. This is where shit gets absolutely sexy. The designers of this thing pretty much said, what if we made MP44 not suck ass and charged 1/5 of the goddamn price? And went balls to the wall with a perfectly balanced and smooth but complex and enjoyable transformation that resolved literally all of the problems that I had with MP44. You know how his legs tried to be the front of the truck cab and fucking sucked because of how complicated and bullshit it was? A simple rotation hinge and slot connection resolves a 100-step clusterfuck in 2 steps or less. You know how barely any of the truck cab was actually part of the chest in the robot mode on MP44? Fuck that shit. You know how I wound up with a big-ass backpack in spite of all of that? So does this one. But it looks better, condenses better, and it's less than 1/5 of the fucking price! In the robot mode you get out of it is Webster's Dictionary definition levels of fucking perfect. From his heroic helmet with movable antennas that give him so much visual expressiveness, to the fully closed off and covered up matrix chamber, instead of the dipshit just shoving them in the windows of his vehicle mode, this glorious son of a bitch has the touch and the power. Unfortunately, that head comes with a caveat of being really goddamn loose because it has 0 goddamn clearance in truck mode to go in the back slot where it's supposed to go. And I don't really understand how they managed to mess up one of the most simple steps of the entire transformation while absolutely mastering everything else. I mean, the tactile feel of this thing in the hands is absolutely gorgeous. But this one flaw in the robot mode seems really fucking dumb considering literally everything else. The joint stability and balance on this thing is a whole nother level of quality, with the perfect balance of tight enough to hold its own weapons without flop-donging around like a dipshit, while also being loose enough for it to be tolerable to move the joints on this thing. And the best part is, his knees aren't gonna fucking explode because they're over-engineered shit piles. But I think the thing I love the most about this robot mode is its sense of visual cohesiveness. I mean, this shit just annihilates any chug Optimus on the market. No bullshit billboard on its backpack, no butt-cheek rubberized tires, just a perfectly tune-accurate robot mode that isn't completely obnoxious about it. Like, normally I hate the concept of the wheels having to be fully covered with every other element of the vehicle mode for the sake of my tune-up, per se. But this figure achieves that in a way that's so simple and elegant. Like, his legs aren't just thin rectangles that move at all angles, but don't have any hips because their legs go all the way up. And they actually have dimensions to them that give it a nice cartoony swish that goes hard up in this bitch. Like, am I the only one who appreciates the fact that this Optimus has both forwards and backwards butterfly joints with shoulder extension that allows him to open his own matrix chamber? He's got masterpiece level hand articulation with fingers that actually have the strength to hold his weapons without flop-donging around like an idiot. Talking to you, Combiner Wars Magnus. Unfortunately, his knee and elbow bend are on the incredibly basic side, with just beyond 90 at the knees and exactly 90 degrees at the elbows, but the way it looks when he bends feels so natural and expressive. No hollowness anywhere, no gap fillers needed, and I might actually get repro labels and the upgrade head just to make him even more peak, and I hate stickers. I mean, shit, if a $2 flight stand I got off Temu can hold him doing that iconic pose, he can pretty much do anything. Certified funny man pose! In all seriousness, I think the thing this figure does so much better than any other Transformers figure is attract people to Optimus Prime's design as a whole. Because in all the years of Optimus after fucking Optimus, I can honestly say that this is the best one they have come out with so far. So why does it feel kinda empty? Like, real talk here, this is the most excited I've been about a figure since the announcement of Combiner Wars Magnus in 2014, and then finally getting him and owning him. But now I'm starting to feel like a bootlicking idiot for owning 23 Optimuses. Why do I have this many Optimuses? Well, you remember that thing about planned obsolescence? Yeah, when I did my first review on Siege Ironhide, I never thought they would outdo themselves. They fucking did with the Voyager class figure. When I got Combiner Wars Magnus, I never thought that it would even mildly age poorly. It fucking did. They came out with a $100 Commander class figure. When they released 86 Springer, I never thought it would outdo Siege. It actually didn't. It was kind of disappointing. That's not the fucking point. The point is, how many times are we gonna keep doing this? Like, I fucking love this figure, but I feel like I'm getting teabagged here. Is this it? Are we finally gonna fucking rest? Oh look, Titan Class was redefined by fucking Star Convoy! I can live with not getting the Devastation Optimus because it looks like shit, but holy fuck, Santa! Another fucking Titan and it's Optimus Prime? I feel like I'm losing my goddamn mind! Everything Optimus is so oversaturated that I want to dig my eyes out with a spork! But, and this is a big but, 86 Optimus is something special. It is the first fully fleshed out, gorgeously planned Optimus that meets every single ounce of criteria of what the fans and myself want from an Optimus Prime. The trailer is perfect. It's big, it's enjoyable, it's cohesive, it feels like a playset. The trunk mode is perfect, it's gorgeous, barely any seam lines, almost literally perfect in the robot mode. The articulation, the paint, the overall quality, the accessories, and everything about it feels like we're turning the page into something that is truly next level. And as a way of celebrating 40 plus years of Transformers and sending off the year right before everything goes to fucking a shit basket again, I gotta say, 86 Optimus Prime is the best possible way I could think of ending this hellscape of a year. So Merry Crisis to all, and to all a good